Welcome to another session of Transformational Thursday. Happy Transformational Thursday. I'm Debbie Balfour, your real estate investing success coach, and I am so excited to be here. It is a beautiful day here in the Vancouver area. The sun is shining, blue skies, absolutely gorgeous day. So thank you for tuning in. If you're in here live, can you put hashtag live in the comments for me? And if you're catching up on the replay, then if you could hashtag replay into the comment so I know that you stopped by, that would be amazing. And keep on commenting even if you're on the replay to some of the questions that I'm asking. Welcome. Today we are going to cover the topic of discovering your ideal client. Last week I spoke about niching, and part of that niching is your ideal client. So we're going to step back a bit and talk a bit about how do you discover who your ideal client is. If you stick around with me at the end of this, I will give a free giveaway. So at the end, I'll explain what it is. And if you're interested, put giveaway into the comments and I'll get back to you with a link to download that giveaway. So stick around. Let's get into it. So your ideal client, who is that? How do we know that? I know some of you are thinking, Debbie, I'm in real estate investing. Do I really need to know this stuff? Yeah, you do. You do need to know this stuff. You're not just an investor. You're not investing in stocks. You're investing in real estate, which is a business. So you need to put on that business owner mindset and think of this as a business, and you need to understand who your ideal client is in order for you to connect properly with your ideal client. Okay, so that you're not wasting anybody's time, you're not wasting your own time, and you're attracting the right people to you. I know it's, when I say it, it seems obvious, but we don't actually think that way right away when we're getting into real estate investing, right? Real estate investing isn't just about the doors, it's about the deals, it's about the people and the partnerships. Here I go again. I say it in practically all of my sessions with you. Real estate is about relationships. I think 80% of what we do should be concentrated on relationships, and 20% is actually on the actual opportunity. So we're building a brand, we're building, a network, or we're trying to, we need to do that first in order to try to raise capital, especially if you're trying to raise capital. But even if you're not trying to raise capital, if you're looking for a partner, if you're looking for people for your team, all these things, it comes from your network, and people need to know, who your client is, who you need to talk to, like what you're doing in order for them to help you, to connect with you, to give you the resources you need. We need to get that in our minds. Drop me in the comments if you've ever been stuck or unsure of who your message is for. In my last live, I talked about, for instance, like if you have a student rental, if your strategy is doing student renting, who is your ideal client? Who is that person you need to talk to? So is it the student? Are they the ones you want to talk to? Is it the parent of the student? Are they the ones you want to talk to? Is it investors that you want to come into the student rental with you? So you see, they're different people and there's different ways of talking to them. So you need to understand first who your ideal client is before you can even progress even further. When I worked in corporate, I did process improvements, and the hardest part was the problem. Really, we needed to understand what the problem was we were trying to solve. And once we truly understood that, everything else became a no-brainer. It was so much easier to figure out what the solution is, who's involved, all of that kind of stuff. Once we understand this, the same thing goes for your niche statement, any of your marketing that you're doing. You need to step back and understand who your ideal client is before you can do any of that stuff. I hope this is making sense for you. Okay, so when I first started sharing about real estate investing online, for instance, my message was like everywhere. I post about, buy and hold, Airbnbs, property management, like all these other things, right? And I was wondering why people weren't getting engaged because I was like everywhere. I was speaking to everyone. No one felt like I was speaking directly to them. Once I identified that my ideal client was like busy professionals, overwhelmed with all the real estate investing strategies out there. They're trying to build this as a side hustle. They're eventually going to want to replace their 9 to 5. Then everything clicked. Then I can share my story with them because I am my ideal client. A lot of us are our ideal clients at times. I understand everyone's fears. I understand everyone's dreams. I understand all of my content is around that understanding of who you are, who that ideal client is, so that we can connect. Once you do that, everything clicks. My content started being easier to create because I knew the focus of it and I didn't have to like go here, go there, go everywhere and try to speak about things that I didn't know. My network grew faster, my brand became clearer, and then I started attracting and aligning with the right, clients, joint venture partners, that sort of stuff. So if that's what you want, drop clarity into the comments if you feel that that's what you're still looking for. Okay, next on the list. What is an ideal client really? Like I keep saying an ideal client. What's your ideal client? Think of your ideal client as your North Star. They're your person that you love working with. So I want you to close your eyes and think of if you've ever so far in your real estate investing journey, hit a client or a person you met at a networking event or something like that you were like, that's the person I want to work with. I would love to work with that person. I want you to write that person's name down, and then I want you to think about all the things about that person that made them that ideal client. Your ideal client is the one who gets you the best results from your strategy, from your business, from whatever you're doing. They're the ones whose pain you deeply understand. You're so connected with them. Have you ever met someone that you right away you go, oh my gosh, like I can't believe it. We jive so well together. It's like we've known each other forever. The same thing goes with your ideal client. You so deeply connect and understand their pain that you're able to speak freely about it, that they can see that you can solve their pain because you've been there, you've done it, you understand them. Okay. And then they're also the one that your story will obviously naturally connect with. So that's who your ideal client is. That's what I mean when I say who your ideal client is. When you know who they are, everything becomes easier, from what you post to what you say in DMs to the strategy that you're building. Because your strategy, just a quick touch on strategy, your strategy isn't just that you're doing buy and holds. Your strategy is way deeper than that. Your strategy is for whom you're doing those buy and holds for, the amenities you're giving, the service that you're giving around it, like all of that. That's your strategy. Once you know who it is that you want to attract, then it becomes easier. For instance, I'm going to go back to my story about student rentals. I asked, like, if it's student rental, who is it for? Is it for a parent? Is it for a student, etc.? Let's say it is for the parent. I'm a parent. When I'm sending my kids off to school to live somewhere else, what are the things that I want to see in that student rental to know that my kids are safe? Maybe it's security. Maybe it's in a secure area. It's in a nice neighborhood. When you're walking around the house and the amenities in the house, you're looking for those things that will keep them secure, that the house is clean, that they have a nice room. Maybe they have facilities. They're eating, so they've got a good kitchen. Remember, we're in the age of helicopter parents. What are all those things that you can say and give in that student rental that would appeal to your ideal client? Maybe that you're there, that you're close by, that you're a mom to and totally understand. So then you're treating them as your kids. And then that parent feels even better. All of those things, those conversations that you have, the things you say in those conversations, when you know who your ideal client is, it is so much easier to build that relationship and to write stories and everything around it. I hope that gives you guys a good idea of, what I'm saying and why I'm saying it. It is hard work at the beginning, but once you figure this out, once you take the time to figure it out, everything else becomes super easy. And, once you understand this, then who your ideal client is, if you're good with using ChatGPT, ChatGPT will give you tons of ideas when you can identify truly who that person is. I do this. This is what I do in my program, in my one-on-one program, in my group program, my bigger ticket. But I have a mini version coming up that's focused on Facebook real estate investing. I call it the Facebook Real Estate Investor Magnet Program. It's only 5 weeks and it focuses a lot on the niche statement and your ideal client, etc. You can speak to my people that I'm working with LinkedIn. This is a big part so that you get it right. And then after that, we work on that Facebook and how to optimize the Facebook profile, how to write posts, all of these based on this. If you're interested in getting deeper into the, check out my 5-week program. It's coming up starting on May 23rd. It's only $297. You get so much value in that out of this. It changes your way of thinking, the way you're approaching things. One of my clients said today that she kept thinking about, like the warm and fuzzies around her clients and about what she did. And she never thought to think about her client's pain. So those are all the things we work on in the programs. It's coming up really soon. It starts May 23rd. The doors are open. Reach out to me if you want to know more about it. Put 5-week program or 5-week into the comments and I'll get back to you with more details on it. Let's keep moving on. Let's bust this myth. You do not need to appeal to everybody. I want to stress this. Trying to appeal to everyone means you're appealing to no one. You are not going to miss out on people who want to work with you if you drill down on your ideal client. If your ideal client is a woman or is a man and there's a woman or a man, the opposite sex, that wants to work with you, it won't stop them from working with you. But this really will help you get the right people. It's really important. In fact, trying to do this will keep you on the right business track and it will keep you from getting stuck in your business. When you're specific, you become a magnet. You become that source of information, that expert on that particular type of person, that particular topic, etc. So you become that magnet. Your ideal client knows that they're being seen by you because you're not talking about other things that's not relevant to them. They're going, oh my gosh, he sees me or she sees me. She knows me. That's me. She's talking to me. Have you ever read something or listened to a podcast? Sometimes I sit in church and it's, when the priest is talking about the readings and there's things that he's saying and I think, oh my gosh, he's talking to me. Is this for me? Is he looking at me too? Right? So this is the same thing with your ideal client, right? You want that feeling. And even if you're behind a screen, if you're, behind a post, like you're the writer, that person is saying, oh my gosh, that's me. They're talking to me. This is a sign. When the person feels seen, then they lean in and they're like, okay, tell me more. And that's what you want. You want them to come to you and say, okay, tell me more about it. Drop a fire emoji in the comments if you're ready to get started and get real traction on being more specific. Have I convinced you that you have to be more specific? Let me know in the comments. Start defining your ideal client. How do you go about that? Here's 3 ways to start figuring out who that person is today. I want you to reflect on you. Your ideal client is often the version of you. So for many of you, your ideal client is you. You've been there, you've done this. Why did you get into doing what you're doing? All of these things. What was your struggle? What were your fears? What were your dreams? What would have helped you most if you had that you thought, if only I had this back then when I started, or if only these things. I want you to reflect on you. That's the one part. There's something that gravitated you to do this particular strategy. So then I want you to take another step and write now. So you've talked about you, all the things, like reflect on the different things about you. And now I want you to create like a mini bio of your ideal client. You can even give them a name. And I want you to write their name, their age, their lifestyle, how much money do they have, where do they live, what's their goals, what would they love out of the world, what's the music they listen to, what's the books they read, where do they hang out, where do they physically hang out, where do they hang out on social media, who are their influencers. I want you to get into their head. What do they worry about? What's keeping them up at night? And what would they love for their world to look like? So I want you to really write that down. This is going to take some time, but you can get help from ChatGPT too, especially around the fears and their dreams and what outcomes do they want. I did this last night with my LinkedIn client group, and it was fascinating. It was amazing. There were fears and things like that came out of ChatGPT. They were going, oh my gosh, yeah, we didn't think about that. So, start doing that, and you can get help from ChatGPT. Know the transformation you are offering them. So what's the before look like? I want you to think about what their life looks like before or right now. Like, what is that they're stuck in? What's overwhelming them? What their life is before, and after working with you, what would life look like? I want you to think about that. So understand, draw out the transformation. Maybe it's how much money they're earning, how much more time will they have. They have no time right now to spend with their kids, and now they're going to have time to spend with their kids. Where are they traveling to? What's their life look like? Maybe it's that they're overwhelmed, confused, their desk is a mess, like they don't know whether they're coming or going, their bank accounts have negative balances in it, whatever it is. Like, that's before, and then what would that look like? Again, if you understand the before, then you can talk to ChatGPT and say, what would ideal outcomes for this person look like based on what the before is? And you want to phrase it in a very positive way, not the negative. The negative is the before. The positive, you don't say you won't be worrying at night. You would say you will be sleeping peacefully at night. You won't be worrying at night is negative. You want to think about, like, say it in a positive way. The number 1 was reflecting on yourself. Number 2 is writing a bio. And number 3 is the transformation. Which one of these are you going to commit to me to be doing right now? To start working on it right now. Start where you're at. Do something. Implement it. Once you figure out one of these 3, you can take that and now start writing posts about it. You don't have to wait for the whole thing. So start with what you've just learned and then get going, and then pick up the other part. Bring it all home. Today we've uncovered why knowing your ideal client is that launch pad for creating that strategy that's going to align, and be efficient, be profitable, will help you out there on social media more. It will help overcome those things that I hear from all of you. Go, Debbie, well, I don't have anything to write about. I don't know what to write about, because so much stuff will come out of just this part. It will give you confidence when you're networking, when you're speaking to people right away. You will know right away if the person you're speaking to is your ideal client, or if they're not, it's not a waste. You can tell them who your ideal client is. This is who I work with. If you know of anybody that fits this description, I love a connection. It gives you clarity on how you're going to run your business, and it helps you build that you build content, connect stories, stand out in those noisy space. Remember that my 5-week Facebook Real Estate Investing Magnet program is starting on May 23rd. Get in quickly. I only take a handful of people so that I can work closely with you. Like last night's session for LinkedIn, I always book 1 hour, but we went, I think, 2.5 hours because there was so much to help people with, guide them, get the benefit of that I don't have. I clear the rest of the evening. And as long as, if you're out in the East, as long as you don't mind staying up late with me, and we'll keep going until, I can help you. If you're interested, drop that 5-week in the comments and I'll get back to you with either the link of how to register, or if you want to know more information, we can set up a 15-minute call and I can tell you more about how that program works. Thank you for sticking with me until the end. Now, I promised you a giveaway. What I'm giving away is what I call networking your way to dollars. This, what I've just done, walking you through your ideal client, etc., until we get to the putting together all the elements that goes in to create your niche statement. I have a workbook on that it's free for you. Just drop in the comments or giveaway. I will send you the link so that you can download it. Remember, if you're watching this replay, please put a hashtag replay in there. I've asked some questions in here. I want you to go through those, drop those in the comments, answers to those questions. And if you got any aha moments out of this live, I would really appreciate you letting me know. It's important for me to get feedback from you, to know that this is resonating with you, that I'm making a difference, so that it encourages me to keep on doing these lives. Drop what your biggest aha moment was from this live into the comments. I would really appreciate it. Tag another fellow investor that you think that would to hear, and it's important for them to see this video so that we can keep sharing it and putting it out there so that I can help as many people as I can. That's my legacy that I would like to leave in my life, is that I can help at least as many people as I can, in even the smallest way. See you again next Thursday, same bad channel, same bad time, when we're going to go into another topic around real estate investing, around credibility, etc., to help you get clarity, to build a strategy that's unique for you, and to see a transformation in your business. Stay bold and stay you. Stay authentic. We'll see you again next time.